Hey everyone, it's Sebastian here at Candle Business Pro. I'm back with 5 more questions that people asked when they joined our free Facebook community. So if you're not in there yet, Candle Business Pro is the name of it. You can find the links below. Also, you'll find some resources. We have a free checklist of all the supplies and tools that we use, all the vendors that we use, and all that. That's all below here. But let's get into the 5 questions that I received this week. In fact, some of these were actually just today. So whenever you join the Facebook group, there is a question saying, "What can we help you with?" And I hop on here and answer questions. And so if you're already in the group, I make a post every week that says, drop your questions here. I hop in here and answer them for you. If you're in our Candle Business Pro membership, then we have live office hours every week where we're going through this. So that might be something to check out if you're wanting some assistance as you grow. So let's get into this. So the first question here is from Melanie. Melanie asks, is the labor worth your time for wholesale? I do a lot of prep on my candles and wondering if wholesale price is profitable. So if you're priced right, absolutely. Because a lot of us do a lot of wholesale and you just have to make sure that you're set up for it. So if, for instance, I have this candle here, I wholesale this candle. If my pricing isn't right to make it profitable, then I wouldn't do it. So you have to look at your pricing. So for us, we do not follow the typical what we hear a lot about, like the 3x or the 4x pricing model. That's not going to be sustainable if you're wanting to grow a business because there's a lot of factors and costs that are going to go into that. There's advertising, there's marketing, there's the outreach. If you're going to do the outreach yourself to get their wholesale accounts like I've done, or are you going to outsource that to someone else, or you can have someone on your team? When it comes to actually production, are you going to be doing all of the making? Are you going to have someone else do that, right? So generally, when just starting out, of course, you want to factor in your costs as far as to produce. But a lot of times we're just trying to learn, right? So I think that the first few wholesale accounts that we got, we didn't make a lot of money on them. And in general, you don't make a lot of money on wholesale unless you do a lot of wholesale. So we're up to 130 or so wholesale accounts. I would say about half of those are still warm or really hot, meaning that they're reordering from us, whether it's quarterly or monthly. Our airport candles that we're into, like we get purchase orders from them every week. They're small. They're not large like when they first ordered from us, where it was close to $10,000 worth. But now we just get POs from them every week, and we make those candles and we get them out to the location that they need to go to. So things like that is definitely worth it. Also for us, we really appreciate the wholesale because like times like now. So the recording of this video here, it's wintertime, and with the way our seasons go. So I've got 3 stores and they are very busy during the summer through October. And then we do have those November, December shoppers, but come January 1, like it is quiet, and it's going to be quiet for us until May and June, right? Kids get out of school, families travel, vacations, people are spending money on things, and candles is one of those. So that's how our business operates. So now that it's wintertime, I take advantage of this time of year to grow my wholesale. So it's definitely worth it, but you got to price it right. So make sure that you are pricing your candles for who your target customer is, not based on like 3x, 4x, things like that. So our candles are going to be like 5.2 to 6x, depending on which ones they are. It's really important to make sure that you have your niche dialed in and who your target customer is dialed in first, then looking at wholesale and knowing what your prices should be. So the next question is from, Salty Cat. Salty Cat asks how to register a business name and logo. On the United States Trademark and Patent Office, or USTPO, .gov is the website. And going through that process takes time. It took us almost a year. I think it was just like a week shy of a year from when we applied till we actually got it approved. So what you'll do is you'll go out there to the USTPO's website, and you're going to want to do a search to make sure that what you're trying to trademark isn't already taken. Now, this is separate from registering your business with the state. You register your business through the Secretary of State in your own state. That's how you operate. The USTPO is to prevent others from using your trademarked name or your logos, things like that. So, but that's the answer for that is to register your name and your logo for trademarking. You're going to do that at the USTPO's site. To operate, you are going to do that through your state's Secretary of State business services. Every state has a business services division of their Secretary of State. You can usually do a search on there, make sure again that no one else is using the name that you're going to want to use. But they also will have a lot of every Secretary of State website that I've been to, which has been quite a few of them. They all have like a small business division, and you should be able to get a lot of good, really good like free resources from them on there. In fact, some of them will even put on like workshops, and they'll also point you towards like grants and things like that. So might be something to check out as well. Next question is from Reese, and Reese says or asks, what position is best to hire initially when scaling? Okay, write down all the responsibilities of your business, from your marketing, your social media, your actual production, ordering supplies, receiving inventory, shipping orders, all the things that encompass your business. When you start to make a list, you will find out that you do so much more than what you think at first. If you're like, oh, I order supplies, I make candles, and I post on social media. There's a lot more that goes into that. See what your time is that's going into all of those things, and see what you can outsource for the least cost for the quality level that you want it to be. For us, that was photography and social media when we first started. Those were the two things that we struggled with when we first started, was social media like content, right? So what we did is we had a photographer take tons of photography of our candles, and then we hired someone online, I think through Fiverr, Upwork. It was through Fiverr, to create social media assets for us. Just a bunch of different. So I don't know, we got like 100 different just like images that they created for us. Now there's Photo Room, and there's a lot of apps and things that can make some assets for you these days, but it was worth it for $50 or $100 to hire someone to just create 100 assets for us. And then we would just use one of those and post it every day. And then so like for the next 3 months, like we didn't have to think about what we were posting online. Of course, we sprinkled other stuff in there. So much of our social media is like sharing our stories, sharing where, the process. When we're making candles, you can see back there, I make my candles. I'm in a different store right now. I'm in store number 2. A lot of times I do my videos in store number 3. I'm in store number 2 today. We do more production here. It's a much bigger melter than we use in my other in store number 3. Still too big, but that's another video. So for us, I would hire out what we can hire out that is affordable. So having someone doing social media content creation for us was affordable. That's something we can hire on Fiverr. What is your pain point? What is it you do not like to do? And outsource that if you can afford to. Or when you grow to the point where you can hire someone, you can already start thinking ahead. If you're not to the point of outsourcing anything yet, because you're not bringing in the revenue, think about what is the first role going to be. And it should just be, what's your biggest pain point? And if there's multiple pain points, which one can you outsource for that's going to give you more of your time back and is going to be affordable? We can't outsource just to, a third party accountant, right? Like we have to go through our accounting firm and all of that. And it's expensive, right? So I did it all myself until we could find someone. Social media assets is inexpensive. I'm trying to think of what else that we do, because now that we have our 3 stores, we've got a team, right? So we've got a dozen people that work with us. And so like our production is done by our team mostly now. So if I was producing candles every day, that would be something that I would want to outsource, because my time is better spent doing the wholesale outreach and things like that. All of that stuff is just more critical to our business. So hopefully that helps you. Whatever is your biggest pain point, make a list of all of those, and what one can you afford to outsource. If you can outsource it now, fantastic. If you aren't quite there yet, just have that goal in mind of, okay, when I start making this much revenue every month, I am going to outsource this, and you can start pricing that stuff out. So the next question here is from Aaron, and Aaron asked, what is the best way to get in front of the customer I'm looking for? Okay, so that tells me that you know who your customer is. So let's say your customer is someone that travels the world and they enjoy buying candles of locations all across the world. That will remind them of those locations. So that's the niche that the candles are. And then your target customer is the person that does that traveling. So where does that customer that you're targeting hang out at? What online spaces are they in? What accounts do they follow? What are the influencers in that space? So you have to become a part of that world. Are you writing blogs about travel? Are you putting travel blogs on your website that's selling the candles about travel? Who are the big players in the space? Who are the influencers? Can you make connections with them? And I don't mean like influencers that have like millions of followers. I'm talking about those people that have like travel channels on YouTube and travel posts on Instagram, social media, things like that. There's countless travel Facebook groups, hanging out in them. And, when someone talks about, um, Santorini or Italy, like, oh, I created this whole line of candles around them. You're going to get eyes on your stuff. Doing blogs on your Shopify store about locations that people can then click on and they're on your website, and then you are, putting your product in there as well, is a huge way of getting sales as well. So we've done some blogs on our website that have brought us business. So that's a fantastic way of doing it. So you have to really become part of the world that your target customer is. So if you know who they are, write down all the information about where they hang out, what blogs they read, what newsletters they receive, what social media accounts they follow, what YouTube channels they follow, and then build your business around that. Okay, so the last question is from Tamika, and Tamika asks, online store versus retail store benefits. Struggling on if I should go to a bigger spot. So that means that you probably have a retail storefront. So that's awesome. So what are the differences? So the differences is online store, you have to bring customers to. So people aren't just going to discover you unless you have your website optimized. They know about you. They've already been kind of introduced to your candle line, and then they're buying from you online. So we started online. So we had to go through the ups and downs of all of that to get our website to start bringing in customers. We actually started online, and then we started doing markets. Markets was a great way of testing our products out with customers, seeing what they liked, what they didn't like, then also collecting tons of email addresses so that we could email them and send them to our website. So markets are fantastic for that. Then we started doing a wholesale. So doing our wholesale outreach, of course, we had to have our website in order. We had to have our branding, everything ready to do wholesale. So that's a whole another reason to have your online presence and keep building that up. And then we went into having a retail store. So some of the benefits of the retail store is we get lots of customers that don't know who we are. And then they come in. We have, tourists that are coming through, or the locals. They're coming in, they are turned onto our brand, and then they can now buy from us online. So I really think they go hand in hand. Our online store isn't necessarily bringing the retail store any traffic, besides the people that are going to like order online and then come and pick it up, but they would just come in anyways, even if we didn't have the online. But I really think that you want to have both. Now, when I say that, we now have 3 retail stores. Our online presence is getting to the point where we would be fine without the retail stores. And as far as still being able to operate, still being able to grow wholesale accounts and things like that. They both give credibility to each other. Having a retail store helps my online presence. When people go to our website, they're like, oh, they don't know who we are. You have to have that trust factor with people, and knowing that there is a legit brick and mortar store, and that may help some people in saying, oh yeah, I feel confident in ordering from this business. There's some setbacks with both as well. You don't know how many people are going to go to your website today. So you don't know if you're going to get any sales today. So those are setbacks with online. It also takes quite some time to get those online orders flowing in. You really have to know how to optimize your website. In fact, in our membership, we actually just did a entire workshop on optimizing your website. I showed them, I'm like, here, we're ranked number 6 on Google for this particular candle. I'm going to spend this next week optimizing this product listing. And we got number 4, and a sale came in. So I was kind of proud of that moment. I had to share with the members in our group. So SEO will make your website work for you, but you've got to put the work in on it. So many people will skip over that. When it comes to retail is, there's a lot of pain points. Our hours, we're open 10 to 7 here. And of course, as the owner, we'll make the decision to close early when the weather's not good or not open because of the weather. But like, our rent doesn't go away. We're still paying rent. Also, here in a couple of my stores, we are losing money every single month during slow season. Again, right now, the timing of this video, it's winter time. There's no one, out. There's no one out and about. It's 21 degrees outside. Like, people are enjoying their candles at home. They're not just walking the streets and deciding to stumble into our store. So, we stay open and we get by, but then we wait till the summertime where it cranks up and then we start doing busy, or we start being busy. Having our own storefront where we're not controlled by someone else is really nice. I wouldn't go into a mall. The traffic's there, so it would be worth it for some people to open up a storefront in a mall. However, I don't want Simon or whomever the mall management is. They are very strict about their hours. They'll actually fine the tenants if they don't open on time, right? Like if I decide to not come to work today and not open my store, like that's a business decision I make here. If I'm in a mall, I'll get fined for not opening and possibly evicted. So that is something to consider as well of how much time can you dedicate to it. So if you can find a space, this is what I would tell most people. If you could find a space, so you're online, you're making some candles, you're online, you're selling some candles, you're selling candles out of markets, you're making all your candles at home, and just need more space. You're tired. Your significant other is saying, "Get these damn candles out of my house." Like I'm tired of smelling candles. I'm tired of it taking over our kitchen, our dining room, our living room. I'm tired of it. Get these candles out of my house. Then find a space that is affordable, that you're not going to be losing money if you don't grow. You can sustain in it. Find a space that can be a retail location, like part-time, where that's your getaway. So you're going to go to your small storefront and that's where you're going to produce all your candles. And while you're there doing that, you're open. And then you can still work your 9 to 5 or whatever job that you may currently have, if you have one, and do this part-time until it takes over. So that's what we did. When we got to a point where candles all over the house, I'm like, Chad, we got to get this out. I love this business, but like it's our entire house. All right. We're starting to get orders coming in wholesale. We're starting to get online orders. We're doing the markets on the weekend. All right. Let's find a retail space that we can afford and get these candles out of our house. So we got, that's what we did. And we found a space that was affordable. It was like, okay, as long as we're doing 2 markets or 3 markets a month, and we're doing X amount of wholesale orders a month, this space will pay for itself. And anything that we get extra is just bonus. Obviously, you're going to get the foot traffic when you have a retail space as well, depending on the location of it, which we did. And so that's kind of how we started. And then we just kind of got addicted to retail stores. We opened that one up a year later. We opened another one, and then like 6 months later, we opened another one. So that's how we got the 3 stores now. But now it's hard to manage because instead of focusing all of our energy on selling candles, making candles, the things that we enjoy doing, we're managing a team now, right? And now we've gotten to a point where now we're hiring, people to be in key roles. Okay, you're going to be a store manager here. Okay, you're the manager of all of our inventory. And so it's more of running a business and not just enjoying our little candle shop that we started with. So there's some pros and cons that come with all of that. So in an ideal world, we would make enough money with just online orders, some really nice wholesale accounts, and we would have a small little brick and mortar store that we would just open up whenever we wanted to. If it's going to be a nice sunny day, let me go down to the shop and flip the on sign on. It's kind of how our store number 3 is. We are just very like, oh, it's gonna be a nice day. Let's go open that up. Right. But come summertime, it's open every single day because that little town is busy. So long-winded answer there. Hopefully that helps you out there. Have a fantastic day. Again, look in the comments below. There's free resources for you. Check out Candle Business Pro. We have the membership. You can come and hang out with us in there every single week. We do this. So have a great day. Take care.